It is September 16th, 2023, and thank you for joining us over our many platforms. We have Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you want to find me or myself and Felix over any of those platforms, go to my name, pull it up on any of those platforms. You should be able to find us this morning, as well as on the Love and Stuff page on Facebook as well. Thank you for joining our Facebook page. We are growing and growing and growing. And welcome to the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, none other than Mr. Felix. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, man. Good morning. Boy.
If we getting started, he wearing the Seattle.
Yes, absolutely.
Not getting ready, which takes us right into our topic of the week. Is, are the Lions really that good? So what you think, sir? Are the Lions that good?
No, man. No. You got a wounded Kansas City Chiefs team, man. You was missing Trap. Okay, true enough. They went down to Kansas City and won. Okay, yeah. Congratulations. Line that game up 10 weeks from now. Who would you take?
Well, I can't say. I want to see how everything plays out 10 weeks from now, honestly, because you're going to have some injuries. You're going to have some people playing well that you don't know is playing well, some people not playing well that should be playing well. So I wouldn't be able to say until, week 9.5, but, what's going to happen. So that'd be like saying if it was the fifth, we'd all be a little plastered.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If you line that game up this Sunday, with Thomas back and Kelsey back, who win?
I would say that Kansas City would definitely have a much better chance, because Jones is back. Jones and Kelsey is back.
Okay.
They to the 1 year contract.
Okay.
I think if we had Kelsey been back and not Jones, I think we still would have had a better chance of beating them, because the receivers couldn't catch a cold, and would have made them one dimensional, just trying to keep up with Kelsey. So that would have played so much better into our hands. But also having Jones would have been the boys. He's a wrecking ball. So that would have been making things a little bit different.
Okay.
So I'm not saying they would have won or they won or lost, things would have changed, but it definitely would have changed the dynamic had they been there. But we will take it as we can get it. If they still won, so I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that.
Good.
All right. So the Lions are 1-0 in the NFC Central, and they host the Seahawks tomorrow. And last year they lost 48-45 in the game. That really was not that close at home. Yeah, they were at home last year, right?
Correct.
Yeah, they were at home last year. So
correct.
That game was not that close, even though the score sounded like it was. The quarterback was a dynamo out there. That game alone got him into the Pro Bowl just this past year.
Geno Smith.
For those who don't know, he's not an Italian gentleman who with that name, but he was a quarterback that served up the Lions last year. That's for certain.
He'll do it tomorrow too.
Well, we shall see about that. We have a ask a mandate from Mr. C.J. Gardner Johnson. He's asking for everyone to bring the ski masks out and play the villain. And I'm just worried that everybody gonna be passed out because we're gonna be so hot and all those ski masks up in there. That's my worry. I get it. I get the analogy.
Right.
But how wise is it to wear ski masks when it's still, you still got relatively good weather in the city, as well as a climate controlled dome environment like Fort
Right. Does the dome open down there?
No, it does not open it in
we don't have
Detroit.
a retractor. Oh, we don't have no retractor. Oh, I thought we had.
No, it does not retract.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's gonna right. Then you bundled up next to each other. Yeah. Woo.
Mm-hmm. That was the dream that Kamau Young had. He was the first mayor that said he wanted a retractable dome right downtown so the Tigers can play at night and the Lions can play the next morning. That was his dream. He said because it's like they, it's easy to convert the field. They do it all the time in Toronto, But he wanted. That's what he wanted. That was his dream, but never quite came to fruition. Now they have the 3 stadiums right there next to each other. Everybody has their own facility, but he wanted to have it controlled and owned by the city, and that was nixed back in the 80s. But I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. I think that the Lions have a good opportunity to show the NFL that they have not necessarily arrived, but have gotten better where they can play back-to-back games and show what they can do. I think we're going to hold off on our predictions to the end, of course, but I'm let's just say I'm optimistic as to what the Honolulu Silver can do tomorrow afternoon.
Boy, oh boy.
Good morning, Ms. Feliciana, Mama V, good Reverend Doctor. She said, "Good morning, gentlemen. Don't hate Felix. Keep hope alive."
No, that's okay.
We got somebody named Manny said you got to play the team in front of you. I guess they're referring to when you talk about play the game 10 weeks down the road. I think that's what they're referring to. So don't forget to click like, click share, and let people know that we're here. It is Saturday, our bi-weekly standard. We are growing and growing exponentially by the show. We want to thank you for that, and we want to let you know that we are still moving towards our goal, being this generation's Soul Train. You get up in the morning and open up the windows and clean up and clean your kitchen and clean your bedroom. Have us on speaker. There's plenty of Bluetooths out there. Put the Bluetooth phone in your house and have everybody just listen to us as we go through. And when you hear something that you like, go on in there and just get everybody to make a comment so they know what we got going on in here. So we know that you like or dislike what we're saying. Either way, we cannot be us without you. All righty. Thank you for that. We are. Oh, and don't forget, I almost forgot. Get the book, Ready for This Journey Every Day, written by the Wiz and Oz, Mr. Marcus Home. He sits in the back and he runs everything and makes sure we stay on time with our segments and he makes sure we do what we're supposed to do and keeps the show moving. So we want to thank him. We want to make sure we support him as well as he takes care of things. Okay, there we go. Good, there we go. Oh, perfect. Had a little technical difficulties behind me. We had to we had to fix that. All right, we're gonna move into baseball. We're gonna do a quick 5 minutes with baseball, so we can keep ourselves on time. Biggest thing that affects our area for the most part, we had the Scherzer-Verlander battle just this past week, even though they're not on the Tigers anymore, with Houston and the Rangers respectively. The Houston Astros won that battle 4 or 5-1, something like that, and Scherzer only pitched 3 innings, and Verlander went 7 and got the win. And which I think that game itself, Scherzer was a little. He was trying to do his best to beat his so-called nemesis. There's been a lot of reports of the two of them not necessarily getting along. Nothing that they've actually said specifically publicly, but Scherzer is out at this point for the season due to an injury, and I hate to see that because I do like him as a player. So hopefully he'll be back next year. He has a non-surgical injury, but he's definitely out for the season. Okay. Were you able to catch up with that game a little bit this past week?
You talking about the battle between them two?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got to see the little highlights. Because by the time I get off, it's towards the end of the game anyway. So we both work afternoons, right?
Yeah, I'm back on afternoon.
So yeah, so I'm catching like maybe the 7th, 8th, 9th inning where but yeah, I did catch the little highlights or whatever. But I know a lot of the players in to piggyback off what you said, I know a lot of players say Verlander's like a crybaby. Like when he was with the Mets, they was like he whined too much. I was like, wow. So, but I never heard that when he played with us. Even after once he left, I never heard he a crybaby. But the Mets players was like, he whined like a little girl. So I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that as well. They said he was he had his own people that he had, his own staff of people in terms of pitch counts and stuff like that. So it was that's something that I hadn't heard, but maybe at this point in his career, that's something that he needs to keep to extend his career. So he's already a surefire Hall of Famer. Maybe he wants to go out and try and break a few records or something like that he points towards and wants to keep his body healthy. I don't know the whole thing from the inside, but you're right. That's something that we had heard until he went to New York.
Yeah.
So good luck to them the rest of the season. Our Tigers at this point are 67-79 on the season. Third place in the AL Central, 10 games behind the Twins. They are 75-7 and 5 in the last show. The Twins are 78-70, and they are still in first place. We go back to what we've been saying from the beginning, that they just stayed just a little over 500. They will make the playoffs. Twins are going to be going to be the wild card team in the American League, but still better than where we were last year. But let's put this in perspective. The St. Louis Cardinals are 65-82, and in last place in the in their division in the National League Central. The Cardinals, a team that is traditionally in the playoffs every year, and the Tigers are having a better season than they are right now. So I just want to put that in perspective. So we want to complain about the Tigers, team that was in the playoffs last year.
Are you serious, man?
Yeah. You know me. I got to look at the bright side.
You're gonna actually compare that, man. That's like comparing a vet to a beetle, man. Are you serious, man? The Dodge Bundy Mobile. Are you? You know what? I get it. Today's September 15th. I get it. I get it.
I'm just trying to put a silver lining in it, because last year we were still in the 50s and losing by 9-10 runs a game.
Right.
Until they were out of it and went on the kind of a run, the last 2 weeks of the season. Yeah. So, but right now the Braves have the best record. They are at 96-51, followed by the Orioles at 91-56, and the Dodgers at 88-57. So that's why I still have hope for the Tigers, because traditionally the Orioles were right there next to the Tigers, just barely 2-3 games ahead over the last 10 years. So if they can make good moves in the background and the farm system and draft well and bring those players along, we're hoping that the Tigers can do so as well. So baseball playoffs are coming up soon, and we want to make sure that we highlight that coming up. So in the next week or 2 weeks, the pairings will be out and everything will be official for the baseball playoffs. And this is when I really watch baseball a lot more. Normally I just keep up with the scores, but I'll actually be sitting down and watching the games, and out of market games that I normally wouldn't watch. So this is one that come up on the best time of year, where you have baseball, basketball going to be starting soon, football and hockey all at the same time, and the end of the MLS season is going on as well. You got the WNBA playoffs, what we're going to talk about, and the MLS playoffs is going as well. So things are going well in terms of sports. All right, time for the NFL. Any good surprises we got out here so far in the season?
Yeah, that the Lions beat the Chiefs. I can't believe that. I really man, if you gave me that bet 100 times, I wouldn't have never took the Lions. If you would have sent me down there and put me in sent me in Arrowhead Stadium, I wouldn't have believed it. No, man. Look, off one game, and that team wasn't even to full capacity. I'm not drinking.
Neither were the Lions. The Lions were at full capacity. They had injured players as well.
Absolutely, but that's the defending Super Bowl champs. Do you know, if you go back and look, if you for real, if you go back and look, normally NBA, NFL, I can't really say baseball, but I've been paying attention. If you go back and look, normally that first opening game, most teams lose. Go back when Golden State beat when they beat Boston. That following season, open night, they got ran off the floor. The year the Lakers won in the bubble, they got ran off the floor. That's what I'm saying. Because you're not into the game. You're into the getting your ring. You're into the banner being. So I'm not gonna put that on why Kansas City lost. True enough, they wasn't fully staffed. Yes, it was a celebration, all that. But like I said, if Kelsey, you got to know as a Lion fan, because you're a Lion fan, when you got the news that Kelsey hurt his knee and he might not play, you wasn't like, oh, okay. That's what, if you're going to be a Lions fan, be a Lions fan. Don't be, okay, yeah, Kelsey not playing. What you call them, Walmart Wolverines? You got a couple of Walmart Lion fans. Because if Kelsey would have played and they would have signed Thomas, but once again, like you said, if was a fifth, that them odds go strategically down. So, I mean, if you're going to be a fan, be a fan.
I was a little bit relieved to know that Kelsey wasn't going to play. And I didn't think they were going to sign Jones. Well, of course, but you still got to play with the hand that you're dealt. You're playing spades, and you get one spade. You still got to play it, and hope them diamonds that you got an extra on fall in your favor at the end.
Right. So because that's what you're gonna hear tomorrow. That's what, like right now. What's the name is doubtful. I can't think of the guy's name. As it Panay Snoop. One of them is doubtful, and the other one is questionable. Let neither one of them play. It's gonna be, well, we didn't have. Okay, they didn't have Kelsey. So you got to take that same dip of Kool-Aid that you took when you went out to Kansas City. But see, as a Lion fan, I don't
think you hear that from the team. I think you hear that from the sportscasters. You won't hear.
That's what I'm saying. Right. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, why is it okay when they don't have Kelsey and they don't have Thomas, but then when you don't have the two people you're gonna be missing tomorrow, and we still ain't got J-Mo. Come on, man. I don't want to hear that, man. That's why I'm like, a coworker offered to take me to a game. Marcus Holmes, the man behind the scene at Teddy. I am never going down there. Ever. They can knock on the door right now.
They win the world. They win the Super Bowl. You're not gonna go to the parade.
I might be the guy that drive through the parade.
So, wait a minute. You gonna have a big old. You gonna get the old school Cadillac out. You gonna drive the parade. Like what movie was that?
I can't look. I'll put it to you like this, and for real, all jokes aside, I go to a Tigers parade before I go to a Lions parade. Okay, and I don't like them neither.
All right. Really quickly, you did predict Kansas City 27-10. I said 27-13 for the Lions, 21-20 for the victory. But we need to keep moving forward. Dallas looks unstoppable. That 40-0 victory over Giants was not what I expected. I thought that game would be much closer. If put like this, if Dallas defense could play the whole game, Dallas could do some damage this year. I did not expect to be able to say that. I didn't want to have to say it, but I have to tell the truth. Dallas looks good. And that's kind of scary. And the offense they didn't even have a chance to show if they was clicking or not, because that defense, they couldn't get 10 yards. It was, oh my goodness. It was almost like watching the Titans against that game where the defensive coach told them they better not get a first down. That's what they look like out there, going upside the Giants' head. That Dallas looks good. What you think, sir?
Okay, off that 40 points, how much did Daniel Jones contribute to that 40? 20. So really, they only won 20.
Daniel Jones was playing like he owed a bookie.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, if you have help from the opposing quarterback, it really don't look too good that your defense was dominating when the quarterback was helping you. He couldn't scramble. What's going to end up happening? The New York Giants is about to see. They invested into the wrong guy. That money should have went to Saquon. That money shouldn't have went to Daniel Jones. And they about to really, because you got to remember, you still got to go back down to Dallas and play them again. Mm-hmm. You haven't even played the Eagles yet. You ain't even played the Commanders yet. Daniel Jones is what he is, a bum. I don't care how you slice it, dice it.
I wouldn't call him a bum. I would think that they give him too much responsibility. He should just be a regular game manager. I don't think he's capable of being successful if they put him in the right situation. He cannot play hero football. He has to be the one who picks up the 4-yard first down on the 4-yard out or a quick slant. He can't be throwing the ball 30 yards down the field trying to win the game. That's not his MO.
Is he a top 10 quarterback?
No.
Is he a top 15 quarterback?
No.
Okay, so would you take him or Zach Wilson from the Jets?
6 of one, half a dozen of another. Okay, no, I take Jones. Zach Wilson right now. This book is still out on him. I want to see if Zach Wilson's maturity can catch up.
Okay,
I think Zach Wilson has better talent, but his maturity isn't there. As opposed to, I think Jones is more mature, but his talent doesn't equal for what they're paying him.
Would you take Baker Mayfield over Jones?
Ooh, that's throw everybody in the hat and turn your head to the side and pick one.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
These are good questions. Miami looks really good out there. They went to the West Coast and beat the Chargers. In a lot of ways, that game was not as close as the score. Tua looks good, but I'm still worried. He's just literally one play away from just not knowing what his name is. So that does worry me. Hopefully they'll continue to protect him well. The Rams look good, a lot better than I expected them to on week 1. Geno Smith was on the hot mic crying and calling for help when Aaron Donald barreled down on him on that one play. So that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. And this is probably the biggest surprise to me is how bad the Steelers looked this past week. That they looked pretty bad.
Didn't you pick them? Didn't you pick the Steelers?
I think I did. I might have to go look at my notes.
I think you did.
I think I did.
Yeah, I think you might want to rescind that one.
Now, it's out there. Now it's out there. It's out there. They'll find a way to get 500 or just ask. So that was also one of my questions. Will that streak be stopped at all those years of going 500? Would this be the year that it happens?
Yeah, I think it's time for Mike to go, man. I never was a fan of him anyway.
I would say that I don't know how much influence he has. At the time, I thought Pickett might have been a good pick up, but Pickett may not be the quarterback for that team. But so we gonna see. We gonna see.
Yeah, because at one point we thought Ben wasn't gonna be it, right? And then Ben showed out. So everything takes the time. It's a process. But at one point we thought Ben wasn't gonna be. And PM brought them 2 championships, 2 Super Bowls.
I thought that Ben was gonna be in jail. That's what I thought.
Man, see, this is why.
Am I lying?
No, you know what? I mean, I'm gonna use your word. That's another show for another day.
Ben had friends in high places, and that's what got him out of trouble. He should be sitting next to R. Kelly. That's what he should be.
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Okay,
wasn't there.
True enough.
That worked.
And probably the biggest news in NFL is Aaron Rodgers. He goes down with the ACL tear. Now, was it the turf monster or was it karma that took down Aaron Rodgers?
It was turf. There's no such thing as karma. Look, in life you have ups and downs, but as people of this good universe and of this good world, bad don't last forever. It wasn't karma. It was a fluke play. He should have went down. You've been a quarterback for long enough to know at 39, you're not gonna elude no young guy like that. Should have just fell to the ground. But at the same token, it happened. Will he I seen the little what do you call it? The Instagram post, and I'm coming back, and there's everybody going I'm a prove doubters wrong and all that. Okay, it's good to, like you said, it's good to be optimistic, right? Until reality hits. You're 39. There's no going through a wishing well or nothing like that. And then these NFL players are faster, they're stronger. Who wouldn't be who? And I'm not saying this, and I'm choosing my words lightly and correctly. I'm not saying this, but who wouldn't want to end his career? To be the guy who, you don't think Lawrence Taylor didn't maliciously want to hurt Joe Theismann when he broke his leg on Monday Night Football? He ended Joe Theismann's career. Would you want to be? Aaron Donald would be the player to end Aaron Rodgers' career. If I was Aaron Rodgers' friend, which I'm not, but if I was his personal friend, hey man, hang it up, man. You still sitting at the table. You just got one.
Yeah.
Hang it up. But then they said, I seen a post too where they said if they go for a deep run in the playoffs, they might bring him back. So
I don't know if they go for a deep run in the playoffs and Zach Wilson is leading them the way he should have, the way they drafted him to begin with. I would just bring him on as a spiritual advisor, and that's what I would bring him on the sideline for. Other than that, I wouldn't even put him on the sideline, quite honestly. Even if he was healthy, I would keep him in the skybox and let him get the press and let them put the camera on him. And that's what I would do. As a coach, I wouldn't mess with that. I would just leave that where it is. So you don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, I mean,
especially
I understand he don't want to go out like that. Nobody wants to end their career like that. But at the same token, look at Isaiah ended his career like that. His last year's playing for the Pistons, he tore his Achilles. Never played again. He went into the front office. Nobody wants to be known as the player that got hobbled off or carted off. All right, I understand it. But at the same time, you're 39. We're not talking basketball. We're talking football. You're going to have to move around the pocket. You're going to have to elude the rush. Nah, I mean, you got one, man. You know what I mean? Players that played and didn't even get one. You blessed.
Didn't get a chance to get one.
Right, you blessed. Jim Kelly got 4 chances and didn't get one. So, I mean,
not a single one.
Didn't get one.
Yep. Didn't get one. Well, let's move forward. We're going to go ahead and talk about college football. Let's start with the top 20. Right now in the top 20, we have Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, Texas, USC, Ohio State, Penn State, Washington, Notre Dame, Alabama, Tennessee, Utah, Oregon, LSU, Kansas State, Oregon State, Ole Miss, Colorado, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Duke, Miami, Washington State, UCLA, and Iowa. That's top 25. I do apologize. AP college. So we for the coaches poll, we got Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, Ohio State, USC, Texas, Penn State, Washington, Tennessee, Alabama, Notre Dame, Utah, Oregon, LSU, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, North Carolina, Ole Miss, Duke, and Colorado. Those are that's right there, 21. Colorado on the coaches poll, but not yet on the AP top 25. So that's pretty cool. I like to see Colorado making a little bit of a push on the culture side. Normally the coaches have the pulse a little bit more in terms of how they feel about things out there. And we got Uncle Nick taking a nice little lumps last week, and now they have pushed the panic button, and they're going with they're benching the starter, going with the backup. Now, this was one of the questions we were going to use for the opening, but we're moving right in here. Is this the end of the era of the Nick Saban era? End of the Nick Saban era? Is this the time where we're starting to see the not so much of a dominance at Alabama football?
Yeah, Uncle Nick. Today, this about to be their worst year. They're probably gonna lose 4 games. I'm gonna stand with that. They're gonna finish 8-4. It's gonna be one of his worst years because you don't have playmakers. You know, the quarterback that you just benched, he don't have nobody to throw to, and he can't pass. So with that being said, the defense, the offensive line will only hold up for so long until it becomes a holding penalty. Last week when they played Texas at home, that's what they did. They sat in the zone. He drops back. The defense can only hold up for the offensive line can only hold up for so long with the defense. They were bull rushing. Every time he took off and ran, it was either holding or he had to throw it away. The difference was, and everybody was like, well, when Jalen Hurts was there, the difference was behind Jalen Hurts, you had Najee Harris. On the right side, flanked out, you had Devontae Smith. On the left side, you had Waddle. He doesn't have none of that. If he's watching this show, and I would be greatly thrilled if he was, Uncle Nick, you got to go to the portal. You got to put that pride aside. You got to go pick in the portal. Ain't nothing wrong with look. Sometimes you can't always buy your shoes at Foot Locker. Sometimes you got to go to Champs. Sometimes you got to go to Dunham's. Uncle Nick, go in the portal.
Sometimes you got to order them online.
No, I don't like ordering online because then they leave the box outside and then somebody come get it. I don't like online. But I get
you got to find your local box. They got a local metal thing where you can go pick them up out it's like a 7-Eleven or something close to you, and where you can pick them up out the
that's if you miss the package, right? If you miss
no. You gotta. We're talking about. I'll show you how to do that. But they have the lock box close to you where you can have everything delivered there. You have to worry about something.
Man, that's even worse, man.
No, seriously.
Like if you miss, like the few times I have ordered online, and then we'll get back into what we were discussing. The few times I have ordered online and I missed it, I have to go to the CVS, right? And then I show my ID or whatever. But it's like the person behind the counter at the CVS. I know Felix is not a common name, but how hard is F-E-L-I? If you watch cartoons, you know Felix the cat. It takes me, I go through more hassle at CVS than I would waiting on a package.
No, it's a lock box. All you do is put your code in or scan the QR code that they send you on the email, and the box open up and you get your stuff and you keep moving. You usually got to keep your head on the swivel. And so just in case somebody want to try to knock you in your head.
Down there. I ain't never seen that up here. But man, new technology, right? Technology. Okay.
All right, let's jump back into it. Let's see. Colorado is still the big story. Is it too soon for Heisman talk for Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter?
After 2 weeks. You know what? No, because we'll see after next week when they go on the road to Oregon. And then the following week, when USC comes to Boulder, then that'll let you know where they stand Heisman-wise. Because, of course, Nebraska was Nebraska, right? TCU, okay, Labor Day weekend, he shocked everybody, right? Today is Colorado State. He said today is personal, right? The three teams you played in these weeks, which one gonna probably end up going to a bowl? TCU probably. Nebraska not going to a bowl. Right. Nebraska not going to a bowl. Colorado State not going to a bowl. So, no, not offer them.
Colorado State might go to a bowl. They might not go to they might Colorado State. Go to a bowl. Colorado State is a rivalry game. They play in the lower conference. So they may have an opportunity to go be fodder for a bigger team at one of the smaller bowls, one of the bowls, one of the December games. It won't be a top 5 bowl. But it'll be one of those regular mid-December games.
I don't know. Colorado State ain't been good since. I'm trying to think. When was the last time they was good? Maybe 4 years ago.
They were ever good. I don't remember when we were saying, "Ooh, Colorado State."
Let me rephrase that. Not good. They were decent. Because anybody can be good, right? They were decent. Maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. Because I can't think of the guy's name. He went to the pros though. They did one year. They was pretty okay.
Okay. All right, well, we'll give them that chance. And the biggest story of college football right now is the ignorance of Mel Tucker.
See, man, you can't say that's ignorance, man. He made a mistake. Look, okay. When we shared this before. Me and you, we were going through this week, and I was texting you, and you were texting me, and we were sending each other different things. Look, at the end of the day, the man is human. I'm not, but let me choose my words wisely. I'm not condoning cheating. No, I'm not. The man made a mistake, but we don't know all the facts and the particulars around the situation. If he cheated, that's between Mel Tucker, that's between Tracy, and that's between Mrs. Tucker, because those are the three people whose lives is going to affect, not to mention his kids. What's the difference between Mel Tucker's situation and Aduma, the coach that used to coach the Celtics, that's now coaching the Houston Rockets? Why? Because he's Mel Tucker and he was engaged to Nia Long. They both cheated. But the difference is we had the facts about Umadoka. We don't have all the facts with Mel Tucker. We're going by he say, she say. He is innocent until proven guilty. Now, to contradict what he did do, and the only thing my grandfather, God rest his soul, he always used to tell me this, which is Marcus Holmes' father. If you tell the truth, you don't have to lie. He lied when he said, which discredited some of his story. Oh, I made the phone call in Florida. They went and checked the records. You made the phone call in Lansing. Your story is already discredited right there. Just tell the truth. Look, I'm attracted to her. I got caught in my feelings. She was attracted to me. I apologize to my wife. I apologize to the Michigan State people. I apologize to my kids. I apologize the shame that I have brought on to this culture. This too shall pass. But if you're honest, it's going to pass that much quicker. That's all I'm saying. But we don't have the facts. But to his credit, your story is kind of down because you already came out the gate lying. He's human. He made a mistake. But we don't have all the details with that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And everybody's saying, well, why did she wait so long? And all in order to lead somebody out their world, you have to get into their world first. You have to enter into it. Tracy was a victim. I can personally share my own thing, and I will share it right now. I was robbed. Marcus Holmes will tell you. I had 2 9mm pointed at me, gunshot, point blank range. You know what he took? He took my White Castle. That was the funny part of the story. But I'm here to tell you the story. You see what I'm saying? So do I ever want to go back and relive that? No. Tracy don't want to go back and relive that because Tracy was robbed of something that is self to her. I was robbed of something that was self to me. I don't want to talk about it neither, but I will. I don't have a problem with it because maybe my situation will help you or somebody who's watching. But at the same token, we're both victims. But maybe she didn't come out because I heard, once again, she was looking at Mel Tucker to be a sugar daddy. We got to get, when you make Kool-Aid, you have to have the right amount of water, the right amount of sugar. You got to stir it just right. Then you got to taste it. Oh no, it's not that sweet. You're going to add some more sugar. You're going to add some more water. That's what I'm saying. Until we get everything, then it's on Michigan State, which 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to be terminated. But should he be terminated? He made a mistake. But the only thing to his credit of is a mistake. Huh?
This is my point.
Okay.
He violated the contract, the morality clause in the contract. No, it don't matter who did what, who said what, who did what, when, where, why, and how. The minute this comes out, it is a violation of the morality clause in his contract. And because of that, the next conversation is who's the next best coach at Michigan State University. They talk about how him and his wife are separated and they're looking at getting divorced. And here's another angle. Is he doing this on purpose so he don't have to split 97 million as opposed to 30 million that he already made? Did he fall for the okie doke? Did Michigan State send her as a plant? It's all kind of theories out there. At the end of the day, he shares something very special that should be sacred to him. He and his wife with that young lady, And at that point, whether it was consensual or not, that is a violation of his contract's morality clause. So
Okay,
when they
so
have this hearing next month, they're gonna go on there and they're gonna talk about it, and all evidence is gonna come out, and the text messages on both sides is missing. Because when you got both people with text messages missing, that lets me know that both of them did something they ain't got no business. So, but the onus is going to fall on him because he should not have put himself in that position as the leader of his team, bringing in a young lady to speak to his team about this very thing that he got himself involved with. So
that's the thing. We don't know because we don't have everything. Me and you right now, we're speculating. He's innocent until he's proven guilty. The only bad thing about him being proven guilty is because he already lied. If he wouldn't have lied and said, yes, I caught him when I was in my office at East Lansing, his story is more credible versus why did you lie and say you made the call from Florida when you actually made it in from East Lansing? That's what I'm saying.
It don't matter when he made the call.
It does matter when
he made the call.
Yes, it does.
What matters is that is a violation of the morality clause in his
what
contract.
is the morality clause?
Morality clause means you cannot embarrass the university in any way due to the things that you do. This is an embarrassment to the university. They have to suspend him. They got to bring in D'Antonio to help out Harlan Barnett coach the team.
You didn't have to bring in
that
D'Antonio.
right there.
But you didn't have to bring in D'Antonio. That's what you chose.
They didn't have to.
That's
a choice. I agree. I wouldn't have brought in D'Antonio.
Right, because he quit on you.
I let him right where he is.
Right, he quit on you. Why would you bring in somebody who quit on you? You gonna bring somebody back that quit on you? He quit.
I would have left D'Antonio right where he is. We love you, coach. You still got your seat in the box. You always welcome. If you want to come in and get a pregame speech, we can do that. But in terms of coaching, no.
Right.
So I put all my support behind Harlan Barnett, who effectively is not even going to really probably get an audition to take over the team. That's not going to happen. And then from there, we're going to see what happens moving to the off season, and who's going to be the next coach of Michigan State University.
But do you want that job?
I'm sorry.
Do you want that job?
Do I want it, or does Harlan Barnett want it?
I'm saying to anybody. After you see how they're about to do Mel Tucker, whether they terminate him, whether whatever, do you want that job?
Yes, because Michigan State has shown that the fact that they will pay their assistants, that they have new facilities. You can recruit to Michigan State. Yeah, that new locker room. That thing looked better than a lot of colleges. Pro teams. So
okay,
yeah, Michigan State's a good destination.
Okay, let me ask you this. So does with Michigan State getting rid or terminating him or get rid of them, does the new person, whoever they get, right? And you said, do you feel that they felt like they paid him ahead of schedule and they want to recoup the money that they lost? That's the way I was looking at it. Because, okay, you paid him the money, right? Coming off the Kenneth Walker for Heisman, the coming back to beat Michigan State, the win in the bowl game, which was last year. They kind of had a so-so season. They didn't go to a bowl, no, they did go to a bowl. They weren't that good.
Not last year.
Not last year, right? They didn't go to a bowl. So then, okay, do you look like, well, maybe we paid him before we really got to see if he really is the guy for the job? No. And now this comes up.
No, because you had to pay him, or he'd be at LSU right now. Because the writing was already on the wall that LSU was coming to pick him up, just like they did Nick Saban in that private plane at the Lansing Airport, and he was going to be up out of there at the end of the season. So
you mean if he wouldn't have signed?
When the iron was hot.
If they wouldn't have paid him, he would have been at LSU, and Brian Kelly would still be at Notre Dame.
Yes. He was the top candidate for the LSU job. So he struck when iron was hot. So it's like I always say, it's not what you were, it's what you negotiate. He was able to negotiate that contract based on that season.
Okay.
And I can tell you the first thing I said when he first got hired, I said he passes the smell test, but I'm worried about the wins and losses.
Okay.
So that was the one thing I said when they hired him. He fits all the bills. He has all the pedigree, but he was 6-6 coming out of Colorado before he came to us. So and I think that shows who he is as a coach. He's a 500 coach.
And he came from Colorado. Ain't that something?
Yep. And I think he would have had success in Colorado. He wouldn't have had Deion's success. He would have been 9-3, 8-4 there, which is good compared to what they were doing before that. So I'm not saying I just think that at the end of the day, he's showing that he is a 500 or just above coach. That's if you look at his record now, he's just above 500 here at Michigan State. But we got to move forward. Women's sports, we want to congratulate Miss Coco Gauff on the Women's U.S. Open. Only the second teenager ever to have done that. And so we want to congratulate her and tell her that we support you and shake those haters off for winning and praying on the side after you won and talking about she taking it all in. No, she's praying. She's thanking her Lord and Savior for leading her to the victory and helping her get to the victory. We now have the women's playoffs. We have the Vegas Aces, Chicago Sky. Vegas is up 1-0 over Chicago. Liberty is up over the Washington Mystics 1-0. Connecticut Sun over the Lynx 1-0 right now. And the Wings last night beat the Dream in Atlanta 92-84. And so the women's playoffs is off to a good start. And if I had to pick right now, I know that everybody's thinking Las Vegas is going to win it. I'm going to put my money on the Liberty. Those girls are playing right now. So we're a little bit behind on times. We want to make sure we stay on time. I want to discuss it a little bit more in WNBA. I like the Liberty. I really do. Those girls look good. Is it Ionescu on that team? If I'm saying that right. And
Sabrina Ionescu.
She out there balling. She it's so fluid to just see her out there, and she is in her zone right now. So I know that Las Vegas is stacked right now in terms of the talent, but I got to look at the brackets and see how it's going to play out because Liberty they're the 2 team. So yeah, if they played each other, it would be in the finals.
Correct.
Yeah. So Vegas
Aces will beat them.
I would say it'll be close because they all play all the games are 3-game series. That's one thing.
You have nobody. You have nobody to match up with Asia.
Yeah, she playing too. She's definitely the number 2 player right now.
And she got robbed. She should have been MVP. She got robbed. They gave it to Brianna Stewart. Asia Wilson should have been MVP of this season. They gave it to Brianna Stewart. Like, go figure.
But why?
What do you mean, why?
Brianna Stewart broke the scoring record, didn't she?
Well, okay. And she's the reigning MVP. I mean, she's the reigning WNBA champion. That's the same thing the year when they gave Karl Malone the MVP and you knew Michael Jordan should have got it. Or here, you give it to Steve Nash, but you knew Shaq should have got it. Really? Come on, man.
That's a little bit different. That's a little bit different. That's a little bit different.
How is it different? Because they're women and they're men? That's the only difference.
A little bit different. Just a little bit different.
Yeah. See, he can't even come up with an answer for that one. I got you. Yeah.
A little bit different. Just a little bit.
No.
All right. Don't forget to click like, click share. Let folks know that we are here. We want to thank Manny for coming in through YouTube and making comments. He also talked about this is the first home opener loss for Mahomes. And want to thank everybody out there on those other platforms. And before we move away from women's sports, I want to make an announcement. We have secured Ms. Randy Henry. She will be with us next week to help us sort out some of these women's sports issues and talk about how we can improve the women's game, move the game forward. We couldn't quite work it out. I wanted to make sure we brought her in properly and give her due as we promote the show and promote her. We didn't get a chance to connect till too late, so we want to make sure we do it right. So next show, September 30th, she'll be joining us for 20 good minutes and talk as we go through the WNBA and other women's sports and talk about women's sports issues. I'm looking so much forward to that. Native Detroiter Randy Henry will be with us, and we're gonna get into her background and what she's doing and how and her thoughts and views on moving women's sports forward. Because we do our best to make sure we talk about women's sports issues. Because if we don't talk about it, it won't be talked about at all. We all have to do our part to make sure women's sports is in the forefront. Is in the forefront for everyone to talk about, to make things better so they can make more money and so they can keep women's sports here on par as they do in other countries. We're probably the only, in North America, the only area in the country where women's sports isn't as large as the men's sports. They sell it out no matter what the sport is in other countries, but not so much here. The gyms and the stadiums are packed, whether it's football as in soccer, whether it is basketball, volleyball, all the major sports are and softball, they really support. We had to do a better job of that over here. All righty. Moving forward, it is time now we take a pause for the calls as we go into Stupid Sports News. All righty. We gonna jump right into it. We have seen. I wouldn't call it Stupid Sports News, but I did want to cover this. The big thing we've been hearing about all week is the 8.5-foot rim league. You keep seeing. We've talked about in the past the smack league. We've talked about the all different types of new combination sports, but this one's been getting a lot of traction. It's basketball where you play it on the 8.5-foot rim, and you get dunked on almost every time down the court. I think it's pretty cool. I'm just worried about the injuries because it's pretty much a league for older gentlemen and ladies. So that to me that's going to lead to a lot more ACLs and hamstrings. That's right. My worry, because I know we got the slam league where they play that off the trampoline, and I love to see that because they in helmets and elbow pads and knee pads because they bring in the thunder at 12, jumping 12 feet in the air, and like Tony, the comedian Tony, cram, they get dunked on, and the same thing in the 8.5-foot league. Do you think that would be popular enough to get visibility and get on television?
Man, no. I mean, they might put it on the X Games, right? Mm-hmm. The X Games with that come on sport ESPN, but yeah, that's about as far as plateau they gonna get, man. No, they doing too much. Yeah, you're doing too much.
Okay, all right. Next up, we got Mr. Michael Irvin back on the NFL channel after his lawsuit has been settled quietly with the with Marriott Corporation. He was accused of sexual harassing an employee at that hotel over the Super Bowl, and he left the NFL channel, and he showed up on Sunday morning. To everyone's surprise, no one knew he was going to be there. He popped up. He popped up and surprised everyone and everybody. That of course it's hard not to have to like the playmaker. He's had some issues in his past and things that he's done, but he was adamant that he did not do this one, and so he was settled quietly out of court. And the people he worked with were very glad to see him. I know that I was surprised to see him Were you surprised to see him show up on the NFL Sunday on last week?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Absolutely. Ouch.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. My first thought was when I saw him on Undisputed was, they really didn't say anything about him leaving ESPN when they had all the people leave. He was not, necessarily on the list. Maybe they had let him go before that. So when they said he was going to be on Undisputed, my first thought was if they must be okay with the NFL for Fox to take a chance on him. Fox is known for being innovative, but they make sure they take care of little stuff like that. They really won't go out on a limb and on somebody who has trouble like that. So I think for me that was my first indication that everything had been settled on that side. Looks like there's a nice major gag order in place for that because no one's talking. He's just glad to be back, and nobody said anything else on either side. I'm pretty sure they probably made him a top medallion member at Marriott, and he get a free room wherever he go. And he probably has an escort from one room to another when he get there too. But just joking. Next we have Michael Irvin again. Say it again.
I say you're on your own with that one.
Hey, it is what it is. Next we have Michael Irvin with Stephon Diggs. They went back and forth a little bit this week. Michael Irvin tells Stephon Diggs to basically leave your quarterback alone on the sideline. Stop telling him to play smart, and because that leads to the impression that he's not too bright. And even before he said, when I'm watching the game, what was that? I forget what night it was, and I'm sitting there looking at him. I kept saying, every time he go over there at the end of the game and get in his face, they lose. Leave him alone. He gonna get hyped.
Yeah, that was a Monday night game. The Jets and Bills. Yep.
Yes. He don't get hyped like that. You on the sideline, you your best promoter. You your own Mundini Brown. That's not. He's cerebral. He's there. He's looking at the tablet. He's listening to the coordinator. He's looking at what's gonna happen on the next drive. When you go over there, talk to the crowd.
Go, right.
That's your thing, Stephon. Leave him alone.
They gonna end up trading Stephon, man. Watch. Yeah. They gonna end up trading Stephon because. They just can't. They like the honeymooners, man. It's like one day, Alice, and that's what it kind of make you think that, like he just one day, man, pow, right in the because Josh, if you because what you just said is so true. Josh be looking like, man, again, like go back over there, man.
Yep,
one day,
that's not his way. Everybody gets hyped differently, I always say if I'm talking junk in any kind of sporting event, that means we lose and I'm trying to talk you out your game. If I'm winning, I'm too busy worried about what I need to do. My assignment is to keep us where we need to be. So, I'm kind of like Josh like that. I don't want to hear it. Let me concentrate on what my task is. And I don't have time to get super hyped because if I'm getting super hyped, that means I'm not concentrating on what I need to do. So I'm hoping that Stephon did say a little something bad, but it wasn't negative. But I just hope that for Stephon's sake, leave that man alone.
Right.
Y'all when it was closing fast. Right. They don't do what they're supposed to do this season and get pretty far into the playoffs. They're going to dismantle that team.
Yes.
In the front office, too.
Absolutely.
In the front office, too. All right. We are coming down the stretch. Next show is September 30th, the end of this month. So that'll be the third show of this month. And I've already announced we're going to have Ms. Randy Henry with us. I'm definitely looking forward to that. So we can find our own little way to move women's sports forward in a good and positive way. Of course, we got some predictions. Time for our predictions. We have MSU versus Washington today. What you think, sir?
Washington 27-13.
27-13 for Washington, for Felix. I have them 38-12. Washington. 38-12. Not because I think that Washington is that good. I just think that Penix has our number. And he wants, and like I said from before, when he came to town for our homecoming 3 years ago, and they couldn't stop him. There was no stopping that boy. And he threw that lucky pick at the end of the game, and they won. Michigan State won. So he's been lighting it up ever since. In a lot of ways, that was his homecoming, his coming out party for his talent. So I think he continues to do that. All right, now we got U of M versus Bowling Green. What you got?
At 31-7, the Wolverines.
31-7, Michigan. I'm not far behind. I'm at 29-12. 29-12 for Michigan. Man, for some reason, Michigan seems to play. They have these odd scores when they play against these mid majors. So that's why I say 29. Why? Because they always do something silly to have an odd score. How they gonna get 29? How do you add up to 29? I don't know.
You get a safety.
They know we find a way.
They get a safety, or they go for 2 or something like that. I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Sunday. Detroit Lions versus the Seattle Seahawks. What you got?
34-27 Seattle.
34-27 Seattle. I'm going to stick with the Honolulu Blue and Silver and go 29-15. 29-15 Lions.
Okay.
I know. Crazy score. Yeah. All right, we want to thank everybody for coming out. Don't forget that on Tuesday nights we got the Love and Stuff, the Heart and Soul of the Love and Stuff Diaspora, the flagship show with Mr. Marcus Holmes. We have Love and Scriptures with Reverend Williams on Wednesday, 6 o'clock Eastern. Love and Stuff is at 8:30 Eastern Tuesday nights. Dr. V, she has her hour on Wednesdays at noon Central, which is 1 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you check those shows out and show some love to them. Thank you, Felix, once again for another great show. Thank you for everybody for coming out. We will be back September 30th. We want you to be there. We got a lot more. We don't have a lot to talk about. We're gonna be going into week 4 of the Lions and see how State has handled things moving forward with the whole thing. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Be safe and have a great day.